Hello everybody, this is Dr. Novak. This is the fourth part of my series of setting up the 40-gallon breeder tank, and I will give you an insight on the filtration system and how the tank is going, and that's all coming up next, so stay tuned. Hello everybody, this is Dr. Novak again. This is the 40-gallon aquarium I bought at Petco. It's been running now for 4 days. It's hard to see the tank because of reflection, but basically what I'm here to talk about is the filter. This is the F-zone filter, and right here the motor runs very cool compared to the Awaki pumps. This pump runs real cool. Easy to set up, 0 leaks, and you don't even know it's running. It's that quiet compared to the Awaki pumps. Now I have it hooked up. Already you can see that the lines here, they're already starting to turn white, and that's because of bacteria. Now, how did I do this? How did I set up a tank and I'm able to put goldfish in it so quickly? Well, this is the plenum, and this is the bottom. I wish you didn't see that, but you do see a little bit of it. And you can see some of the layers right here. You can see the kitty litter, and you can see the aqua soil that's in here for the plants. And that is down here is the plenum with the screen over it. And the sand is mixed with the aquarium gravel that I had from the 20-gallon antique tank, which everyone's familiar with. So in other words, this substrate was already seeded. So what I did is I mixed the aquarium substrate with the sand. This is kind of like what I saw in Thailand, where their sand was actually mixed with stones and stuff like that. But in this whole aquarium, the fish are doing fine. The water is crystal clear. Of course, the canister here that you're looking at, sorry about that, the canister that you're looking at here is over 3 gallons. So it's a big canister. It's not as big as the 2400 ADA, but it does carry quite a lot into it. There's the controls. As you can see in there, it's running at 100%. And of course, there's a feed button on your right-hand side of the 3 buttons. Now, if you hit that feed button, it shuts it off for 10 minutes so you can feed the fish and turns back on again. As far as the canister filter, the suction cups, let me take you up here, show you the suction cup. These suction cups are not the suction cups that came with it. Right here, these are not. The suction cups that come with it really aren't very good. I changed out this. I changed this out. This is that skimmer, and I'll only put that on for occasions. That goes inside the aquarium because, like I said, it keeps bouncing up and down when you put it in here. See, this comes off. The skimmer gets put onto here. It gets put onto here. The trouble is it just keeps bouncing up and down. It's more of a hassle than what it's worth. I'll probably put it on if I do get some protein on top, put it on just to skim off the top, and then so for now I just cap it off with that. So it skims from the bottom and top of the aquarium. It's got a lily pipe. As you can see, the lily pipe is sucking water in. You see, I don't know if you can see it, but it is sucking water in from the top of the aquarium. You can't see it very well. I can see it, but I'm trying to get a... But that's going to help. And of course, this is where the bubbler is. This is a piece of plastic I made so the bubbles don't travel all through the aquarium and pop all over the lighting system. The lighting system is a Fluval 36-inch, and it's only about 3,300 lux. As you can see, here's the bubbler from the Plenum. Now that bubbler tube is a little under 5 inches, so we have at least 1.5 inches of tube showing. So that means I have about 3.5 inches of substrate above the Plenum. And the reason I have the bubbler going so fast is because we're using sand. So it's going a little faster than what you would normally do because we're using sand versus the substrate that's more open. So the pore water and permeability is going to be a little different matrix. It's going to be tighter. So we can move water a little faster through it. So a lot of people are probably looking at this thinking, wow, 4 days and you're already sitting there with a pretty good sized fish load. And yes, there are no nitrates, there's no ammonia, no nothing in the aquarium. And it's because of the fact of prepping, making sure everything is right. That's the tube. Don't particularly care for the skimmer very much. But as far as the canister filter goes, besides the little rubber pieces that were not very good, suction cups, pretty useless. As far as this canister goes, it's very good. Quiet as can be. You can feel it moving, you know, the impeller moving. But as far as heat goes, nothing. So the good thing is, now here's the good thing I think everybody's going to like. I just watched a lot of videos on different filters out there, Fluval, Osei, stuff like that. They don't have any output. Like there's an Osei filter, the guy says it pumps out 400 gallons an hour. He tested it and it only puts out 158 gallons an hour. That is a far cry from 400. This one is claimed to put out 800. I'm getting over about 450, 475 out of it, gallons per hour. And that could be because of the tube here. I'll have to change it to a bigger diameter. I'm using smaller diameters. Maybe if I change that, it would increase. But at least I'm getting over 400 gallons an hour, which means for this aquarium, we're turning over this aquarium now over 10 times an hour. So as far as the fish go, as far as anything I'm testing, you can see the fish don't mind messing up the substrate by eating constantly. Sorry about the reflection because I'm outside. This is in the Lanai. And of course, I wanted to show you this. Look at how that's bent. That's how much pressure is on this tank. So you can see where the bend is right here. You can see that. But and you see how this is nice and flat, but this is all in the curve of the aquarium stand. And that's why I did that video to show you about this mat board, because you got a lot of pressure on there, and that's going to make the aquarium out of kilter and maybe crack the side here or cause a leak. But anyway, the sand didn't really migrate much underneath the plenum. Okay, so that wasn't a problem. And I've already put here, This plant here that you're looking at, that is a pygmy water lily. The stem you see there. And I'm trying something different. And also I wanted to bring up that the light, the fluval light, it's on full blast. In other words, I have 100% blue, the whites 100%, the red 100%. I have everything in this aquarium at 100%. And the reason I have everything at 100% is because I'm trying to not only grow the plants, but I'm trying to grow some algae, because goldfish love to eat and constantly munch on algae. So if you can try to get algae, the only downside is we're not going to have the nitrates and we're not going to have the phosphates like we want. But I guess it's a yin and a yang. You're going to have one thing, but you're not going to have. And one thing I did want to bring up about goldfish is they do not like nitrates. No matter how you slice it or dice it, goldfish and koi do not like nitrates. If you really want the colors to pop, you got to keep your nitrates low. I think I brought that up in that other video, especially their whites. They really have that sheen. And there's a word called ginring, and ginring means bright, metallic, like scales, the ginring scales, and that's one thing you want to keep on goldfish. And they become more matted as the higher the nitrates get into the aquarium. Now, I see a lot of people with goldfish aquariums, what they're doing is they're using cheap sponge filters. And this gives you, well, they barely put any substrate in, and then they use a sponge filter. Well, the sponge filter is not going to complete the nitrogen cycle. And that's, of course, your choice. I understand. They're using sponge filters because they're cheap. You're using sand because it's cheap, it's inexpensive. Like this is 50 pounds of sand, another 20 or 30 pounds of gravel from the 20 gallon that was already well seasoned. You got another 10 pounds of your aqua substrate to help right here, to help fertilize the plants that are in there, to add fertilization. Until this gets dirty enough, then you won't have to depend on that. And of course, if you see the bubbler in the back there, the bubbler, when I first turned the whole thing on, it looked like a smokestack coming out of there with brown smoke. And remember, I didn't clean anything when I put this tank together. The filter picked up everything within a matter of hours and made the tank crystal clear. Here, I want to show you something that I think you would find interesting. Here's the tank long-wise. This is the depth. Look at how clean and clear that is. Remember I showed you the video on how I set up the filter, and that's the reason I do that. And here's the other plant. This is the pygmy water lily that you're looking at, and this will grow little yellow flowers on top of the aquarium. And of course I have the plants in there so they can eat them, munch on them. That's what we want. And we want swimming behind, because we're looking at this tank from both sides, front and back. So we want the fish to be able to swim behind the whole thing. And here's this guy, he wants to get his picture taken. Yeah, move out of the way, pal. Okay. And this is it. So if you plan everything right, the ranchus in here are about 5 inches. And I got them from California, place in California. I ordered them on a Monday, and they were already at the house. They shipped them on Tuesday, and by Wednesday they were already here, that fast. One day, within a matter of hours, I would say, not even 24 hours. So, as far as the canister goes, I have to get my quick disconnects. I don't have them yet. When I get them, then I'll cut the hoses and put them on the Eheim ones. As far as the canister goes here, very quiet, very cool. It should pump out for most people at top speed. What I'm getting is over 400 plus gallons an hour. That's great. There's no canister out there that seems to pump out at least 400 gallons an hour. And as you notice, the fish aren't being blown around all over the aquarium. So that's because of the lily pipe, more than likely. But if it is too fast, you can always go with the controller down there and slow it down. But I find, the wave maker, it has a wave maker. If you press the control button that says, let's see, come on, focus. It says feed. I don't know if you can see that. There's a control button that says feed. It's trying to focus on too many things. Well, maybe I go this way. No, that's not working. Anyhow, it's on the right side. It says feed. If you press that feed button, it's just blurry. If you press the feed button and hold it in for 3 seconds, then it'll do a wave. And then you can time the wave to go slow or fast. I tried it out and I wasn't really all that impressed with it, the wave. But basically, this is it. It's all done. Canister filter is dead quiet. It works perfectly. There's, like I said, there's 3 gallons of, over 3 gallons of water in the canister filter alone. And I'm going to have to say that with all the little quirks I had to iron out of it, for what I'm seeing on the internet of other canister filters with all the bells and whistles and pumps and you can put your heater in there and everything else, for the price this was and how much its output is, I don't know. I'd rather go with this. I'm going to be honest with you. The plastic filters, they're nice, but they make big claims of 400 gallons an hour, and they pump out, half that or less. And with Goldfish, you definitely want to move water. You definitely want to make sure you are moving and turning over the aquarium water a lot in a Goldfish tank without blowing the fish all over the place. And look how clear that water is. And this is just 4 days, and it's crystal clear. Nothing, no fish aren't showing any stress, no signs of disease, nothing. Of course, the only way you could mimic this, of course, if you had the canister already pre-broken in, already had bacteria, or you mix the sand with a gravel like I did. And I kind of like the sand mixed with the gravel. It doesn't seem to present a problem to the goldfish. They dig in it and they seem to love it. I'm trying to think of what else to tell you. The lighting seems to be good. Now remember, the distance of what we have here, for the swimming area is perfect for goldfish. I mean, it would be great for tropical fish too, but it's perfect for goldfish. It's not too high, not too deep for their swimming ability. And so the plenum basically does not stop this tank from being a beautiful goldfish tank, is what I'm trying to say. Sure, you lose maybe the 3.5 inches and another inch for the plenum that I made, so you got 4.5 inches you lost. But you know what? There's more than enough swimming room in the tank for the fish. More than enough. And they're having zero problems with getting to the top, getting their food. They are already eating. And every day I test the water just to make sure to see what it's like. For ammonia and nitrites, there's nothing. So what I did is I took the API and I poured it directly into the canister here. The API, as it was sucking in, I see this well, let me see, this gray cap here, see I'm moving it? I poured it in right there, the API, directly into the canister, the whole bottle. Okay, because I already knew that the bacteria in the substrate, that will impregnate the rest of the sand and substrate in this aquarium. So what I wanted to make sure is the API, which is a quick start, would impregnate the filter itself. And already I could see the tubing starting to turn white. And that's a sign that bacteria is starting to grow on the tubing already. So even the clear glass, you could see now it's starting to turn a little white. The tank itself is not milky white, so that means we do not have a heterotrophic bacteria bloom, which would start up right now, where the tank would turn completely white, look like milk. But as you can see, there is none. It's because the entire substrate has already been seeded, and all that bacteria is just growing on the sand pebbles, along with what's already on the grains of substrate that I had out of the 20 gallon. So anyway, that's the update. Everything went smooth. I would highly recommend the canister if you don't mind working around some of the cheaper, suction cups and things like that, what I told you in the other one, because of two reasons. Is the canister is very, very powerful. Okay, you're going to get over 400 plus gallons an hour out of that 800 gallon hour. But like I said, they come with the 5/8, and then they come with a 3/4. So maybe if this was a little bigger, it would pump more. I'll have to see on that. It's quiet. It's quieter than the Awaki pumps. They give you a 3-year guarantee. The canister didn't leak. So as you notice, I didn't use any noodles or anything in the canister. It's all sponges, and it's all that poly mat that will really help polish up the water. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something negative that I could really tell you that I had a problem with. And I'm going to be honest with you. I just can't think of anything. Everything went so smoothly. And I think this is what everybody's looking for, that if you're going to have a goldfish tank, and I see a lot of people with this with goldfish tanks, is they put very little gravel down, and then they buy these cheaper sponge filters. Well, wouldn't you just make a plenum like I'm showing you here? Why not? The plenum is going to handle everything for you. And this will do your denitrification. It's going to help with keeping water parameters up high. And it looks cleaner. I mean, yeah, you do have tubes at the end here, the glass tubes at the end, but it just looks like a nice, clean tank. From what I've seen with people that have hang-on-the-back filters that could not clean the tank, it took days to get the tank clean. And here, this is a brand new tank, and look how clean it is. And like I said, here's the depth. Here's the look, how clean that is. Oh, come on, guys, get out of the way. And look at that. It's crystal clear. I'm trying to get where the goldfish aren't. Okay, here. See, you can go all the way down to, look how clear that is. Crystal clear. Because, like I said, the canister that's down there is literally polishing the water with the way I set it up. It's polishing the water. And that should last months. So it's not like you're going to be spending a lot of money. Yes, there's a lot of carbon in there. I'm going to say there's probably, I'm guessing, close to 4 pounds. 3-4 pounds of carbon with the resin, and that's that Dick Boyd's ChemiPure mixture I do. So anyway, I wanted to show you the aquarium within 4 days, how it looks and how it's going. Of course, if you do make a plenum And oh yeah, and everybody remembers the BCBs are in the bags are in the canister filter. And for some reason, I found out that making BCB baskets with clay or using the clay in your plenum helps goldfish and koi. Koi and goldfish both seem to benefit from clay. Whether, you know, some people actually feed their goldfish or koi clay. But in this case, I noticed like when I had my goldfish for close to 17 years, the clay, I believe, from the BCB baskets was helping the goldfish stay healthy. And remember, those goldfish stayed outside. They didn't come inside. So the temperatures here are a little cooler because it's a cool day today. It's a beautiful day in Florida. It's about 80 some degrees, but the tanks may be 77. And this morning it was 75 degrees. Anyhow, I'll get more into goldfish keeping as the series goes on. Also, I wanted to bring up the fact of the 20-gallon now is running 100% off of a BCB basket. The 20-gallon is. It is not have any substrate in it. So 100% of that 20-gallon aquarium is running off a BCB that's been aged for at least 9 to 10 months inside that canister. So when I clean that canister out, since you don't touch the BCB, you just set off to the side, clean your canister, it will always have a bacteria colony to take care of the fish. So that's something I'll keep you all posted on how well that does after I clean it, but it should do just fine. That basket should handle the whole entire aquarium. And if you think about it, it's a little cosmetically nicer than having a bunch of sponge filters in your aquarium, wouldn't you say? I mean, it's up to you. You could still have bubblers in your aquarium, but I would say a BCB basket hidden in a nice big filter is more cosmetically appealing than sponge filters. And the BCB basket you never take apart. Anyway, I'll get into that. The 90-gallon is on autopilot, so I do nothing with that. Redox is about 374, 377. So there's really nothing to do there at all. Like I said, it's on autopilot. So is the 20-gallon, the antique tank. That's pretty much on autopilot right now. The fish are starving, yet they don't have any substrate, but they don't seem to miss it. And of course, because everything's being used, you know, in this tank, the substrate. So that's how it is. I think this is something that people are going to be interested in because they want to see that I have these lights on full blast, you know, all the way turned up, all the blue, all the red, because I'm trying to grow algae. I think everyone's going to want to see how much algae is going to come in this aquarium. And am I going to have the problems of beard algae, hair algae, any of that kind of algae? And it'll be interesting to see because the goldfish love to eat algae, and I'm going to try to get some algae growing. And as you can see, these rocks and stuff are all from the 20-gallon. So whatever algae's on there is from the 20-gallon aquarium, not this aquarium. So until next time, happy fish keeping.